Good day, everyone. My name is Rahul Reddy. I am the city head for Career Launcher Bangalore. Uh, Privileged to have with me Amita Mishra, All India rank 14 and Karnataka state rank 3 with us, sharing her experience of CLAT preparation and how she was able to crack this extremely competitive exam. So, Amita, first thing, so you checked the result on the night it came out?
Yeah, I think I checked it within 30 minutes of it coming out.
Okay, and what was the first reaction?
So when I started preparation, I used to say anything in the tier one colleges will have me overjoyed. And then as I got closer, I was like, I just want NLS. I just want NLS. So it was never really about like rank. But when I saw my rank and I saw that it was higher than I had ever expected, I was absolutely overjoyed. I was like screaming and I was calling my parents to tell them. It was crazy. I was very happy.
Right. So, parents were supportive, right, throughout your preparation and the decision to go for law? No doubts, or maybe you should do something
None
else.
whatsoever. And my parents even encouraged me to take humanities so that I would have adequate time to prepare for my exam. And the humanities subjects are very much in line with what we have to prepare for in class. So I think that was a very good call. And a lot of people aren't as accepting of taking that stream. So I was very lucky with my parents to have that kind of support.
No, I think that is a lesson for not just students, for parents across, saying that there is more than one way to succeed in this world. And as long as this student or child is doing well and excelling, it doesn't really matter which field the child excels. I think that is more of an acceptance that we seek from parents. Good.
Absolutely.
So you decided to be a lawyer right at an early age. But
Very
can
early.
you give any particular instance or reason influence that help you decide?
I think for me it was that I used to hear a lot of stories about like big court cases, about people like going to using the court of law, using the tool that the law is to actually bring changes. Like changes in law impact us so deeply in our everyday lives. And I was like, to be able to use that tool, to have the ability to actually improve the country that we live in would be just the most incredible thing. And I would be very privileged to be able to study that subject. So that was the
Okay,
reason for me. And of course, the subjects are so interesting. I was like, I need to study this.
right, good. So, uh, when you started preparation, so run us through your journey of how do you prepare for this particular exam? What worked for you? What are the strategies that you
Um,
use?
So I started lightly in 11th grade. And I think the most important thing to do in 11th grade is sort of like at the beginning of your prep, of course, is to realize what your strengths and weaknesses are. So I knew off the bat that GK was a huge weakness for me. So I started reading the paper just to get in the habit of reading the paper well before the CLAT 2021 paper happened. Also, the reading sections, I knew I had an advantage in terms of my reading speed and that I absolutely had to maintain that. So I kept up with reading consistently throughout the 2 years just to make sure that I didn't lose that advantage. Along with maths, which I used to do regularly. Then when I started 12th grade, that's when I amped up the level of preparation seriously and I started taking a lot more mocks, analyzing them consistently, which makes a huge difference in the reading sections. That's where mock analysis is the most important. And then the last 6 months, especially, were pretty much all GK. Like I spent hours every day just writing notes for GK, revising GK, writing notes, revising GK.
Okay, and now let's talk about the experience in the CL preparatory system. So, what worked there, and what were the highlights of this particular aspect?
Absolutely. So for Career Launcher, I think the classes build a good base for you at the very beginning of your prep. I think over time you come to realize which sections and which subjects you need classes for, and you need that additional help. But you need to be able to be selective about that and decide which classes to attend in order to conserve your time. Then secondly, the monthans. For me, I decided to start using the monthans in Jan of 2022 so that the first 6 serious months of my prep from June to December would be without having the advantage of monthans, so that I would know in mocks if my GK scores are going up, it's not because using the manthan that CL itself is providing and then writing the CL mocks and my marks are going up. So it gives you a very realistic analysis if you wait on that. So my suggestion would be to start doing manthans 6 months before because they do cover quite a few of the important topics. And of course, Animesh sir was a huge help. He's a teacher in Bangalore itself, and he was absolutely stupendous. He helped us so much. Especially, I was very poor in GK. He really helped boost my confidence and helped me prepare the last few months up till the last day of the exam.
Great. So, how exactly those 2 hours went? The actual 2 hours of writing the CLAT exam.
So I am someone who really suffers from exam anxiety, like a lot of people do. So when I was preparing, I knew I needed to have enough preparation that my marks, even if they go down by like 10 to 11 from what they normally are, I can still clear the exam. So that was my preparation concept. And when I walked into the center, I tried my best not to think about the fact that there were so many people there, and just I just knew that I was like, this is just another mock. You need to write this. The only thing that's there is you and the paper, because I can't really control how well other people do. And I think that mindset really made a difference for me, because even as I was making mistakes, I was like, I know I might get this wrong, it's okay, just move on to the next one. And I think that's definitely a huge something that really makes a difference.
So, did the anxiety disappear once you started the exam?
English, which is the first section that I do, I was definitely nervous for the first two passages. I was like, oh my God, do I know anything? But then I think around like 10 minutes into the exam, everything else, like I zoned out. I was just completely absorbed in the paper. There was nothing else in the room for me.
Taking it one question at a time.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, good. So, a lot of students have talked about group preparation, people working together. So, did you have a group of friends preparing together?
I actually used to speak with a lot of different people for different subjects. And I think the biggest area in which having a group helps you is two things. One is mock analysis. You absolutely need someone who's there, who's doing at least as well as you are or in your range, who can tell you this is why you got that question wrong, and you need to get that satisfaction. Unless you have that, you're going to keep making the same mistakes. So I think that makes a huge difference. And secondly, group study is very important for GK and motivation in GK. When you know there's someone there who is helping you like prepare the notes, who's helping you cover all the topics, and then perhaps like quizzing you on them regularly, you feel more motivated to get the work done because you're accountable to someone else. So I think having a group is a great idea.
Right. So, what plans now? You want to take off, go on a vacation, or like just like when will NLS start?
Definitely I want to go on a vacation. I'm so exhausted from like all this prep. It's just so mind numbing. But we don't really know when college will start and stuff. So I'm waiting for the dates and all to come out, and then I will plan my vacations accordingly.
Great. So, 23, obviously, the students will take the exam in December unless there is a change of plan. So, what tips for them?
Start doing months now. If you haven't started, it's 6 months before the exam. Start doing them now. These last 6 months are the ones where you can make the biggest difference, and consistency is key. Consistency is absolutely key. Because CLAT is not the kind of exam, no matter what anyone says, it's not the kind of exam you can prepare in 1 month or 10 days. You have to be consistent with GK in order to make sure your coverage is broad enough that anything that comes, you'll have some idea. Because as I'm sure a lot of people saw, this year's GK was extremely random and it threw a lot of us off. So I think these small things make a difference. And as long as you're consistent and you stay motivated, you can definitely crack the exam.
Right. Thank you so much, Amita. It's a pleasure, and really happy that you've made it to your dream college. I think, as you said, the rank itself is an added bonus, but I think the key is getting into NLS, and
Absolutely.
you're also getting into NLS with a lot of friends, I guess, people
Yes.
who've kind of prepared for you. That's a plus, right? So, thank you very much, and may you be the lawyer of your dreams.
Thank you, sir.